Okay, yes. What else?
Factorial notation.
Yes, factorials. What else?
The permutations and combinations
Yes,
rules.
permutation and combination. And I'm expecting everybody should know the formula for this, okay? So today we are going to a new topic or a new chapter. We call it a discrete random variables. Okay, so now discrete random variable, in order to understand what it is, we need to understand first what is a random variable, right? So does anybody know what is a random variable is? Okay, so for a random variable, it's a numerical values that represents the outcome of a random process or experiment. Okay, it assigns numbers to different outcomes of a random event. All right. So, for example, you're playing a basketball. Okay, and then you have 5 free throws. Yeah. Imi lima basketball, imi soy bola basket ne, imi iha 5 kali. You throw it 5 times. Yeah. 5 free throws. Okay, for example, you call this so you call number of successful shot. Bahira misoy dala 5 kali nene, dala hira makatama iha basket ne. Tama iha net na bane. Tama hira, goal. So that is the outcome, right? Where every time you shoot a ball into the basket, the outcome is either the ball goes in the basket or it does not. Los galay? Experimento ida be soy basketball ni outcome ne ma oni objektivo ne ma taten hira husi dal soy dala 5 ne dala hira maka soy tama. Los galay? Ne ni outcome of this experiment. Jadi itu ne experiment ga itu ne proseso ne beta iha ne maka playing basketball or throws a basketball, right? Dala 5. Nebe ita niya. Let's assign this x. This x, it assign variable x as the number of successful shots. Okay, this is what you call a random variable. So a random variable is where you assign a variable. A random is a numerical value that represents, yeah. It can number of successful shots, bele 1, bele 2, bele 3, bele 4, bele 5. Or bele 0. Dalam rumah 0 katak artinya soybane 5 ne latama hot keras. Okay, idane variable ne b represents numerical value either or the outcome of a certain process or experiments. Comprende to sa inama random variable? Comprende to?
Yes, teacher.
All right. So what are the possible values of x? Tuni mini hanoi itene valor x ne valor sere na possible. Huh? If you're throwing a ball into a basket, what is the possible value of an, for example, your x is the number of successful shots. Okay, then what is your x?
5.
What is the possible value of x? X can be 0.
Oh.
When your x is 0, that means
You don't have any possible
yeah, you
values.
don't make any shots. Bola osoy dala 5 ne, lahi ida maka bola, lahi bola ida matama. So that's what x equals to 0. Is that the only possibility? What is the other possibility?
1.
Or it can either be 1, 2, 3, or 4. You make some of the shots. Or another possibility is you can just have x equals to 5, meaning you make all the 5 shots. Okay, to hene comprende los galay?
Yes.
All right, now you understand what is a random variable. Random variable is simply a variable that assigns a numerical, it's a variable that represents a numerical value. Okay, now that you understand what is a random variable, right? So our chapter topic is what? In the topic ko ini saya Discrete
random value.
random variable. So now you understand what is a random variable. Okay, so now we have to understand what is a discrete means. What is discrete? So random variable divided into two. One is continuous random variable, and the other one is what you call a discrete random variable. Okay, discrete random variables has either a finite number of values or countable. Discrete ni katak niya sobel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 din. Niya labeles 0,5, labeles 1,23. It cannot be 1.345. It cannot be 0.53. So that's not the discrete. Discrete can only be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth, but it cannot have a decimal values. But continuous value, continuous has an infinitely, like it can be 1.3456, can be 4.934, for example, yeah. So that's the general, that's the big difference between discrete and a continuous. Okay, for example, you are selling an ice cream. Okay, so you have assigned your random variable x to be number of ice cream a customer order. Okay, you can only have one ice cream or two ice cream or three ice cream. You cannot have 1.5 ice cream, which it doesn't make any sense actually when you think about it. All right, half of what? Half of the cone or half the size or what? I mean, imagine this just a one ice cream is a one package of ice cream. Okay, so customer one, so one person comes in, they buy one ice cream. Am I damay? Ni may sa ice cream ida rate. Ita boleh na sa ita na x is equals to 1 because we already assigned the value x to the number of ice cream a customer order. So ini comprende kale? Okay.
Yes, teacher.
What about this? Ida na ita na x sida. Customer number 2 ne comes by 2 ice cream and cone.
X is 2.
X is 2 because the
They
customer
buy 2.
2 ice cream. What about this? Customer comes buying 3 ice cream. So your x is equal to 3. So now you already assigned random variables to this. And customer number 4 comes in, also buy 3 ice cream. The roman chiramani mayo niya kolega na intulu be nila so sa idadid la dia. Niya thank you so sa tolo. Customer 5 comes in, buy 2 ice cream only. Customer 6 comes in, buy 2 ice cream. 7 comes in, and so on and so forth. For example, so you can put this in a table. In one side of the table, you have the X that represents the number of ice creams that the customer come to order. Okay? Ihan nene kan satu ne kan customer na hira may sosanin niya sosalit ice cream ina dit. Imi hari ini ida 2, 3, 4, 5. So the customers you have is 5. Okay. Now what about the customer that comes and buy 2 ice cream? You have 2, lo sala rua. Name na hira mamay customer hira?
There are 10 customers.
Ah?
10 customers.
No, the customer that comes that buy only 2 ice cream.
3.
3.
Oh, three,
Yeah,
three,
Three.
3 customers.
3.
Yeah.
And customer that comes and buy 3 ice cream is just 2 customers. So the
2.
total customer that comes in and buy our ice cream is
10.
10 total customers.
10
Okay.
customers.
So ini mi comprende o na? Okay, so this is an example of a discrete random variable, number of ice creams, yeah. Comprende though?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, what about this? For example, drinking water. And then you drink the water, and we want to know amount of drank during the day. Amount of water drank during the day. The quantidade B o hemo lorong ida tamak na. O insa mo sukat quantidade B ida o hemo ni. Ujo ni dada sa ida. Bye-bye.
Liter.
The liters.
Yeah, liters, milliliters, gallons, and etc. Okay. So for example, we assign a random variable A as the amount of water drank during the day. So you can say, so what is the possible value of A? It can be 1.75, whatever, 2.15, 2.897 liters, and etc. and etc. That's all possibility. Agora, por exemplo, John is drinking about 2.35 liters a day of water. And Natalie can drink 3.2156464 liters. Agora, valor ida nene kan o sukat baseado instrumento sa ida mo o usa hori sukat valor ida nega. Like, instrumento balo fo valor na ba ni accuracy niya be decimal point niya barak litang instrumento balo niya tao ni limite ni decimal point niya baru are. May be ida nene kan ita label niya katak niya to ne ni continuous sound sa iha. May be ita makahili to representa o decimal value to ne. Ida ne may ita bolo naran. So the amount of water drank during the day is what you call a continuous random variables. Comprende to?
Yes, teacher.
So discrete random variable, you understand? Now continuous random variable. Okay, let's do this. Okay, the weight of newborn babies. Is this a discrete, continuous, or none, or neither?
Discrete.
Neither.
The weight, Todan, weight of a baby.
Continuous.
Continuous random variable. What about the number of cats in a shelter at any given time?
Discrete.
Discrete. You cannot have 1.5 cat. You can just have 1 or 2 cats. So that has to be discrete. What about the weight of a book in the library?
Continuous.
That's a continuous. What about the types of book in the library?
Discrete.
No, it's neither.
Neither.
Oh, neither. Okay.
Neither, because this is a categorical data. The types of book, it's just the type. Is it physics books? Is it chemistry book? Is it a math book? Okay, that's a type. So that's categorical data. So we call that neither discrete nor continuous. What about the number of books in the library? That's a discrete, right?
Yeah.
Because you can count the number of books, but the types of book is not discrete nor continuous. Okay, what about the grade given to a student as a letter?
Discrete.
For example, A plus, B, or C. Is this a discrete or continuous?
Continuous.
No, wrong. It's neither. It's a category. A, B, and C is just category, right? It does not represent. For example, A does not associate it with one specific number. Usually in grading, A is associated with between, let's say, 95 to 100. That's an A or A plus, whatever. Okay, so we just categorize it. So this is neither discrete nor as a letter, yeah. And as a letter, that's not discrete nor continuous. Maybe as a percentage. What about the grade given to student as a percentage? Discrete or continuous?
Discrete.
No, as a percentage. Percentage can be 79.
Continuous.
This is a continuous. Okay, what about the number of height of students in class? The height of students in class. Discrete or continuous?
Discrete.
The height of students.
Continuous.
Why? Why continuous?
Because the height varies.
Because you're using an instrument to measure the height. So the value that the instrument gives out depend on the accuracy of the instrument. But if you're counting a person, you're just by counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Or if you're counting a book, 1, 2, 3, 4 book. You don't like really need an instrument for that, no? Comprende?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, this will be a continuous. What about number of planets around the sun? Discrete or continuous?
Discrete.
Discrete. You can have 1 or 2 planets, 3 planets. So this is a discrete, yeah? Now, how do you write the notation of probability distribution? Again, let's do the same example of playing basketball, okay? So your you have 5 free throws, and your random variable is the number of successful shots. And again, your random variable is this x. Okay, earlier you already know that the possible value for x are 0, 1, 2, or 3. Let's get that. Now, if I write the probability of big X like this, probability of this big X, this is the random variable, yeah? The small letter x indicates the outcome of that random variable. This small letter x can be 0, can be 1, or can be 2, or can be 3, can be 4, or can be 5. This is the small letter x. So you read this as probability of random variable x, the big X, equal to the outcome of the procedure. So probability of number of successful shots equals to 1. So if I write P of big X equals to 1, that means what? Probability that of number of successful shot is equal to 1. That's how you read it. Comprende, kale? Cipriano, taco ni microphone ni, takuri dali hira makimiro. Sekali kimi environmento nebe barulho, favor, taca imne microfone para hira class lao hela. Imne microfone hala kiu tu sai. Kalau emang konsentrasi lah kong itu. Atau kuliah magabe imi tuir kelas ni imi ba ya are nebe hak mate ki tua ema larona imi dia kale. Imi tenki atur tuir kelas ni imi la fokus liu ba lima fali alfal bot selo konensa. Okay? So the probability big letter X equals to the small letter X. The small letter X is either 0, 1, 2, or 5. The small letter x is the outcome of the procedure. The big letter x is the probability of the random variable. Okay, so therefore, if I write probability of x equals to 0, that means the probability of missing all shots. If I write probability of P of x equals to 1, that means the probability of making one shot. If I write probability of x equals to 5, that means probability of making all shots. 2 shots, 3 shots, or 4 shots. Okay, so that's how you write the notation of probability distribution. ¿Todavía me comprende, kale?
Yes, sir.
teacher.
Okay, now let's go back to your ice cream example. Now we talk about probability distribution. Now, what is probability distribution? Previously, when you talk about descriptive statistic, you also have seen some distribution, right? You look at frequency distribution. You also look at relative frequency distribution, or you call it histogram, correct? That was also a type of distribution. Now, in probability, you also have a probability distribution. Now, probability distribution is a mathematical function that describes the likelihood of different outcomes for a random variable. Okay, for example, the ice cream shot. Customer 1 comes by 1 ice cream, customer 2 ice cream, and so on and so forth, until for example, imisukat nila to tenet, imisukat to, let's say until how many, until 123 customers. Yeah, idane listan larok demais, tau to enet imi comprende to na, yeah. Imagina, usi customer 1 to 123 customers, right? Okay, imagine ini experiment money in random variable x is what? Is the number of ice cream a customer order. That's your random variable x. Now, if I were to put this in a table, for example, idanene how much photo na? Idanene is just an example. So, for example, number customer na be may sira may ya o truck ni sosa be ice cream ida ne total ne 78. Sira may be sosa ice cream ne number total ne 20 customer that does that. There are 15 customers that comes that buy 3 ice cream and then so on. And then there are 2 customers that comes and buy 6 ice creams. Tabela ni mi comprende kale? Forget about
Yeah.
comprende to tabela ni. The number of ice cream
Yeah.
and customers ni mi
Yes.
comprende mais ni be. Lo sala is mais
Yes, teacher.
exercise ida probability agora. Então imi tenki buka probability. Na probability that x equals to 1 ihanene may husi 78 kidane divided by 123. That's how you get 0.634. So if sekarang how atu idane hane dados makau 40 ne makau ne dados ne mane hane dados ne 40 husi ne lo salah hane dados ne 40 husi ne husi dados ne 123 eren ne ladung barak si nebe maybe husi dados ne how bele usa dados ne para atu aproxima hane probability ida las galay nebe how bati uma kare how ema may husi antam probabilidade nebe ema se may sosa ema cada customer may sosa ne screen ida ne hira. You can answer it. There is about 63.4% probability that every time a customer comes in, they buy 1 ice cream. Okay? Okay, now probability of that, nene mane, agora hanesa mo, so 20 ne may husi, 0.163 ne may husi 20 divided by 123. Okay, tamasan naman. Okay, so why we call it the random variable? Tamasan mi kulian na random variable because it can take any value. Because the random variable x can be 1, can be 2, can be 3, can be 0, can be whatever. That's why we call it random variable. Yeah, it can take on any value. Nebe, por ejemplo, nessa number of ice cream and sida ohi nene, ida ne may husi 78 divided by 123 is equals to 0.634. That means ita kerek langsung karek valor ida ne kerek p of x equals to 1 is equals to 0.634. Ida ne ita lewa in sa na, ida p of x equals to 1 ita lewa in sa na. Sama lesa, kama kuleta.
The
P x equals to 1 dia sara. Ne ita lewa kar sa. Probability.
probability of a random variable.
No. What is the random variable?
Oh.
Number of ice cream. Probability that probability that a customer the probability of a customer buying 1 ice cream. Right? Probability that a customer comes and buy 1 ice cream. That is 0.64. Okay, so that's how you read it. Okay, probability that a customer comes in and buy 1 ice cream. That's how you px equals to 1. Why is that? Because you already define x as the number of ice cream that a customer will buy. I hope you understand this. You comprende todo, Kuliane?
Yes, teacher.
All right. Hanesamos, for example, 0.33 is, how do you read px equals to 5 again? How do you read that?
The probability of a customer buying, what was it? The probability of a customer buying the number of ice cream. I think
How many? How many?
5.
Yeah, you don't
5.
forget the 5. Probability
Okay.
of customer buying 5 ice cream. Just a simple.
Okay.
Probability of customer buying 5 ice cream. What is it? That is 0.033.
Okay.
Okay. Now that you already have all your probabilities, the number of customer in probability distribution, I just take out, I'm just gonna take out this number of customer already because I already know the probability of this. So from this table, I can know that if I want to know what is the probability that when a customer come in, he or she will buy 6 ice cream. What is the probability of that?
0.016.
0.16.
2.016, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the probability. So this is what you call a probability distribution. Probability distribution is where you have your x-axis is your x is the random variable, and then your y-axis is your probability. So for discrete probability distribution, you will see like this, box like this. Yeah, we call it probability distribution function, or PDF. For a discrete random variable, which is in this chapter, we are only going to talk about discrete random variable. We are not in chapter 7, then we can talk about continuous random variable. Okay, but this one, so when you see a probability random, if you see a PDF or probability density function that looks like a box, like a histogram, that is for discrete random variable. But when you look at the random distribute PDF that looks like this, like just line of like this, straight line like this, that is for continuous random variables. Comprende to? Understand the difference between the two?
Yes, teacher.
All right. Okay, so for example, okay, suppose you're rolling 2 dices. Okay, you're rolling 2 dices, and you want to get the sum of the number of facing upwards. Now, doko kuru-kuru rua no o akala katuhetan niya summation of the 2 facing up row. For example, ya na 5 na nakarek 4, 3 tambah 4. Ida saya 3, ida saya 4. Nah, soma mo to karek niya 7. Logically, that's what you want to get. The sum of the number facing upwards. Now, my question is, what is our random variable? Huh? What is our random variable?
Is it
The sum of the faced up dice, the summation, the sum of the dice that faced up. Now, what are all the possible outcomes of that? The possibility is this. The die 1 can be 1, die 2 can be 1 also. So the sum of that can be 2. Or die 1 can be number 6, and die 2 can be number 3, and the sum of that is 9. But all the possibility is here. The possibility of just getting the sum is 2 is just 1, because it's just simply 1 plus 1 getting 2. But the possibility of getting 3 is 2, because 2 plus 1 also 3, 1 plus 2 also 3. That's why you have 2, 3 is 2, and then you have 4 is 3, because 3 plus 1 is also 4, and then also 2 plus 2 is also 4, and then 1 plus 3 is also 4. That's all possibility. Maybe you have 6 possibility. Maybe sa imi hare karik, probability bali makasih mas getting 7. Tambah iya. 7 ni 6 tambah 1 mo 7. 2 tambah 5 mo 7. 3 tambah 4 mo 7. 4 tambah 3 mo 7, etc. etc. So this is your probability distribution function, Rosalie. If you look at this is a imi distribuyan sa nekarik, imi x axis na all the possible sum, Rosalie. The sum is I get either getting 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 12, Rosalie. Ini lebih liu. 12 ni mayusi tambah 6 tambah 6. So ida kurkuru ida hetang 6, ida falmo sa hetang 6, mentunya so much. The sum of that is 12. Right? So when you put that, you just construct a PDF. Or you can just plot it like this. Now, agora, ito ni random variable na discrete ga, continuous sa ustok. Ito ni x na discrete ga, continuous.
continuous?
Why?
Because No, wait. No, wait. No, I think it's discrete
Why discrete?
because there is only was it few number of outcomes for the amount of dice being rolled.
It's not few numbers. It's because the outcome of it is either be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 only. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 until 12. It does the outcome of that is that when you sum them up, you will not get 2.345 or you will not get 7.976. All you will get is a discrete number. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, or 12. You will not get 12.315. Lost kala? Tambah kuru-kuru
Yes,
ni
teacher.
layak. Ninya side of kuru-kuru ni layak 2.1. No. Comprende kala ni discrete value ni?
Yes, teacher.
Comprende to? Alright. Circelo con siya. Comprende kala? Imi circelo comprende kala?
Yes, sir.
Good. Alright. So that is a examples of probability distribution function. Let's do another example. Okay. Suppose that you buy a raffle ticket for $5. Okay. Por ejemplo, ini imi halo tiketi ne, tiketi bebay imita ematawa ne sambe ne kari. Ematao be ne. ¿Cómo se dice? Ematao tiketi ne ni be sada. Ematao te tiketi iha be surtang ida ne larang, e depois e tiketi ne larang ne o se on be tiketi ne be o emadada ne mahanesa hone nomor ante o menang osang lo gale. Do we have that kind of game in Timor? I don't think so. Yes, I think we do. And is this big? Similar to this, I think. So, por ejemplo, o sosa tiketi ne ba lima ne, custo tiketi ne $5. E depois iha larang ne ba ne total 1,000 tiketi are sold. There are 1,000 tickets are sold. E depois husi 1,000 tiketi ne ia tiketi sanulun maka sekali ohetang ni o semanan $25. Ya tiketi tolo maka bahiro okona kare ko semana $100. No, iya tiketi ida maka bahiro okona ne o semana $2,000. Oh, baba ini ada sampai emasosa motor be, sada? Emasosa tiketi manang motor kareta ya timor. Oto tu mai sosa, sertau tia narang numero toto ni etia be. Buat ni larang ser karu-karu malu man 5 hatama ba? Sira lamas kona ina be ida neme manang motor ka kareta. Losta? Imperna ida negala. Okay, so imagine that. Okay, now, how many preguntas importantes los demane? What is the random variable here? Agora imi mabuka to. Saya ni random variable ni masara. O sama ita tahu random variable ini. Ia problema din tini random variable ni masara. Sikto. Anybody?
Is it the amount of tickets sold?
Not exactly. Look, read Lady Diaktok. Lady Diaktok. Lady Diak.
5.
No, I'm not talking about number. I'm just asking about what is the random variable here. What is the outcome that from this exercise or event? Ni outcome na sayda. What is the outcome of this? When you buy a ticket, when you buy the raffle ticket, what is the outcome?
The outcome is
Comprende kalian? Anybody?
Discrete or
No, I'm not asking about discrete or continuous. I'm asking about what is a random variable. Ni outcome na sayda. Maksudnya, what is it? What is the random variable? Bahira o sosa tiketi dan sana ni sayda maka ni outcome na sayda. Can anybody think? It's a simple thinking. Sama tene.
If you either win or don't win the
Yes, correct.
ticket.
The outcome is either you win. So that means if you want to calculate the probability, you are calculating the probability that you will win. Lo jalan?
yes.
So this is the outcome, is winning or losing, basically. But we don't care about if we lose. We care about the probability that we win. I mean, who will calculate the probability, right? So that's why people buy in the first place. So the probability is winning a prize. So what is the probability of winning $25? What is the probability of winning $100? And what is the probability of winning $2,000? Comprende, galera?
Yes, teacher.
All right. So now that you know this, how do you construct a probability distribution function? Okay, you can have a table and you can have the x as your random variable. What is the x values here? Winning a prize. What are the prices?
$25, $100,
$25, $100, or
$2,000.
$2,000. Now, what is the probability of each? What is the probability of winning $25?
Um,
5.
10 is 10.
10 of what? 10
10
of
of 1,000.
where is 10 coming from?
The
Because there are only
10
10
third place winners.
third place winners for $25. You only have 10 tickets for $25. So the probability is 10 out of 1,000. We have a total of 1,000 tickets. Comprende to? Yan. Comprende to? This area. Comprende to?
Yes, teacher.
Y Michelle comprende, galera? Everybody, any questions? Perguntas? Me tem que Hanoi, ya. Hanoi di dia. Nebe bahira to determina random variable ida ni me tem que usul kimnia. What is the outcome of this exercise or this procedure? What is the outcome? What do you want to get? Like, what is the outcome of this? So define first a random variable and then what are those, and then find the probability. So the probability of that. So the probability of winning $100 is 3 out of 1,000. What about the probability of winning $2,000? What is it?
Just
1.
One of what? Just one?
1 out of 1,000.
Okay, be careful. If you say just one, that's the 100% name of total social ticket, you know. Doesn't make any sense. Okay, 1 out of what? 1 out of 1,000, which is a 0.01. So when you plot this is your probability distribution function. Comprende to?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, this is your probability distribution function. So before, when you talk about the descriptive statistics, you have a frequency distribution, right? You have histogram, and then you have relative frequency distribution and such. So by here, descriptive statistic ni fotit tia data mai. Data ni fotit tia mai imi organiza tia. E depois imi aplica técnico descriptive statistic de imi atubuka. Mas imi data ne mas imi bele foti. How you have a distribution ida. Distribution e descriptive statistic ne mitabolo na frequency na. Frequency distribution. No, your descriptive statistic ne imi calcula mean, variance, and standard deviation to that. Unless most probability distribution functions, you will also calculate the mean, variance, and standard deviation for probability distribution function or PDF. And these are the formula to calculate that. So X is just the outcome multiplied by the probability of that X. And this is the formula for variance, and this is the formula for the standard deviation of PDF. Okay, write this formula down. Okay, hakerek formula na ihim na kaderno. Imi na kaderno iya kala ako ra usfal. Imi betir class statistic na imi uja kaderno kala. Gab imi la uja da.
Kaderno ya, teacher.
Teacher.
Okay.
Teacher.
Alright, hakerek down, hakerek tiyan eh. Right, so now that's the formula, right? Okay, let's do an example. So for example, agora, por exemplo, nessa, imagine you are tracking the number of goals scored by a soccer team during their matches. And you have collected data on the probability distribution of goals scored per game. Yeah? Por exemplo, o foto na dados quando ba joga bola, por exemplo, Barcelona hasuru Real Madrid, contoh. But imnya probability distribution ini foto husi pertandingan yang pasado liuba-liuba. Tapi Barcelona o Real Madrid hasuru malnya kayaknya beberapa kali los tenan. Like probably dalam barak los tenan. To and ita foto dados ne liusi be dados ser be pasado e me construir na probability distribution. Por exemplo, dados ne be me construir na mana kata. So it's a random variable x is goal score, yeah? Because imagine you're tracking the number of goals scored by a soccer team during their matches. And you have collected data on probability of goals scored per game. How many goals scored per game? Berarti, on a probability kan, kada setiap kali kono scenario be hasuru malu nene, goal hira mas score. Zero katak la iya goal ida. Iya goal ida det katak tim ida det dalam rumah iya goal rua katak total goal ida usi tim ida o dalam rumah ida ruane usi tim ida det, I don't know. But the number of goals scored during the game is this. For example, imi tahu tena ni tabela ne manetena. Forget about this probability. Right now, I'm giving you an example on how to use the mean, variance, and standard deviation. Imagine you have probability distribution and you want to calculate the mean for that. So the formula for the mean is what? This is the formula for the mean. The sum of x dot p of x. Ini dia saida. Kata one x na mayane. On a p of x naman, maybe o kali it 0 times this, 1 times this, and then you sum them up. So basically you have 0 times 0.1, that's a 0. 1.0.3, that's 0.3. 2 times 0.4, that's 0.8. 3 times 0.15, that's 0.45. 4 times 0.05, that's 0.2. And then you need to sum them up because the symbol is saying sum. So somamuto. What you get is the mean is about 1.75. Obviously, there is no such thing as 1.75 goal score, yeah? Laya goal ina maka 1.75. Nabi baba ini obel redonda tiba 2 goals. Obviously, there is no such thing as 1.75 goals. But mangira o calcula matematicalmente, onia be random variable ne discrete. Los kala tama ni goal ida goal rua or goal tolo goal hat. Mabe ni ming ne bele tama usa matematika o calcula. Jadi tama naman ni ming ne 1.75. Babe. Kita bele halo saya interpretação, ya, or halo análise ida kare kana sanai. Comprende to o insama calcula mean? Comprende kale?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, now how do you calculate variance? What is the formula for variance? This is the formula for variance. This is the formula for variance. Okay, so how do you calculate the variance? So the first thing is you need to find the x minus mean first. Ito na mean, yan na masada? 1.75. So ito na x. Ito na x na 0 minus 1.75, you get negative 1.75. And then you have 1 minus 1.75, you get negative 0.75. Plus 2 minus 1.75, you get 0.25. 3 minus 1.75, you get 1.25. Ida Maybe a formula na makara to square ida you need to square. Therefore, negative 1.75 square is 3.0625. Negative 0.75 square is 0.5625. And then and so on and so forth. Maybe hetan t square ne o tanki multiplica by probability. Então, ida 3.0 ida multiplica by 0.1 ida Niya manehatan 0.30625. Idane 0.5625 multiplica by 0.3 ne mahetan 0.16875. Comprende kale? Tabela idane comprende to idane. Ne haten to insa may sinabi? Preguntas yan eh, comprende kale?
Teacher, I'm still a little confused on the last two.
The last one is just multiplying this column to this column. 0.1 multiplied by 3.062 because of the formula here. Nya formula na kan x minus mu lo salah. X minus mu na mana eh. Mabe x minus mu think square talay. Tama na ma square te nene. Ne mak ya column ida ne. Po tu tia hal think multiplica ida ne multiplica by ano ba? Tao multiplica ida nene multiplica by probability ida ne. Bayira multiplica o tinggal soma it because there is also a summation here. So 0.30625 plus 0.16875 plus 0.025 plus 0.2343475 plus 0.253125. You get 0.9875. Comprende ito?
Okay, now I understand, teacher.
Okay, understand? Any other question? Pregunta selo? Ya están preguntas selo?
No, teacher.
Okay. So when somebody calculate standard deviation is just the square root of that. If you notice, the formula is just taking the square root of this. So that means you just take a square root of this number. Okay, the standard deviation is simply 0.9937. Comprende na to? When siya to calcula be mean, variance, and standard deviation ba PDF na? Comprende na?
Yes, teacher.
All right. Awesome. All right. So now we are going, now that you understand, so right now you already understand what is a random variable. You understand discrete random variable. You understand probability distribution functions. Now we are going to an entirely new topics that I think will be useful during the your analysis of data in your RM project. Okay, so I want you everybody pay attention. Toma atenção yung topic ko na. Rare event rule for inferential statistics. This is a very important rule for inferential statistics. Okay, pay attention. This rule. So what is rare event? What do you mean by rare event? Event to be rare. Yeah. The definition naman the rare event rule is used in inferential statistics. Yeah, statistic niya five barua. Descriptive and inferential to sebelum na kulihat na. Is an inferential statistica quanto o usa para to infer, okay? To help decide whether an observed outcome is statistically significant or just the result of a random variation, okay? Ne diyang nasane rare event rule ne anesan rule ida nebe usa atu ajuda ita hori decide katak ita outcome of a specific procedure is statistically significant ga ida ne memang ni significativo ihaduni ga or is it just the result of some random variation? I will do an example later, okay? Now it states that if under a given assumption of a particular event is extremely small, then of that occurrence is likely not due to that assumption. Okay, these rules helps us infer whether our probability should be rejected based on the probability of the observed event. Okay, idan diyan sanin. Sa banghira o calcula probabilidade ida, no probabilidade ida ne mahetang o 0.01. The probability na be mihalo calcula saune, for example 0.01. Ida ne dia 1%, lo sale. 0.01 ne kikuan los gale. That is what you mean by rare. Kata very not likely to occur. Idan bolnar rare event. Rare event kata evento idan event ina probabilidade ne que quanto terlalu. Agora, que quanto terlalu ne suka tu si número sa idan mo se determina. Mas be ihanene kata rare event dia evento idan be nina probabilidade atu acontece ne que quan los. Compreende, galera?
Yes, teacher.
Por exemplo, imi soy site pasta denti ne soy tama tiba la site usilio usitin. Nimi buti site buat muting halara ni mi buti site. Probabilidade sa ira maka imi bel hatama fale buat muting ne tama fale pasta denti ni halara. Is this a rare event? Yes or no?
Yes.
It's a rare event. Event ne be susar loss. It's very, very rare, or the probability of that is very, very, very small. Okay, so that is what we mean by rare event. Okay, up to this point, we comprehend a rare event. Yeah, understand what a rare event is. A rare event is an event or the outcome that has a very, very low probability. What specific number, we'll define it later. But there is general rules that you can use to identify unusual results. You can find using the range rule of thumb. We call it the range rule of thumb. You can find the minimum usual value or the maximum usual value. So the way you find the minimum usual value is you simply take the mean minus 2 times the standard deviation. In chapter 7, we will derive how this formula comes to be. But for now, the minimum value is just calculate, you take the mean of that value, you minus 2 times the standard deviation of those data, and that is the minimum usual value. And the maximum usual value is change the mean plus 2 times the standard deviation. Okay, so this is where you define the specific number of rare events. Yeah, unusually high number of successes. Secaric on a probabilidade. This is the magic number. The magic number is 0.05. Yeah, say probability is less than 0.05. That is a rare event. Comprende that? If a probability is less than 0.05 or 5%, less than 5%, that classifies as rare event. Comprende, galera? Probability of a certain outcome is less than 0.05, we call it a rare event. Or for example, unusually high number of success, an unusually high number. That means probability of X or more, high number of success, probability of X of successes or more. Unusually number of successes. Let's do some example. Okay. Let's do an example to illustrate this rare event problem. Suppose you were tossing a coin. Yeah. For example, imisoy be coin ni. O san base nene, imisoy sae, imisoy to seribu kali. Agora, husi seribu kali nene, resultado nebe imihetan heads is 501. 501 heads. Okay. Just imagine that. Imagine that. Okay, really think about it. Just really think about it, okay? Now, agora ita dia sana, apakah ita bele conclude kata ita niya coin nebe, apak tambah ita hetan heads ne 501, bela kala ita conclude kata ita niya osam besine favors, kata prefere liu atu mono iha head instead of mono iha tail. Is this a good conclusion, yes or no?
Yes.
No,
Not really.
Why not? The answer is no, but why? Why, Euphrasia?
because we cannot guess.
We cannot guess, and also because this 501 number is just a random occurrence. It's not something that is fixed. If sekarik o repete tan 1000 kali, bukan berarti o seheta na fating 501. Los gale. Because this occurrence of getting 501 heads is just a random occurrence. It does not mean that our coin favors heads. No. This is not evident that the coin favors head because it is very easy to get results like 101 heads out of 1,000 toss by chance. By an sortie date. Dalam rumah oswetan 1,000 kali dali data, you probably will not get 101. Agora nessa, né? Agora how se fala? Maybe probabilidade nebe oheta exactly 501 nessa da. Exactly 501 out of 1,000 tosses. What is the probability of that? It's very, very low. How calculate na the probability of getting exactly, yeah? Not 502, not 500, not 400. The probability of getting exactly 501 heads. Then maksudnya na sana eh. Maksudnya probabilidade sa ida maka oswetan coin 1,000 kali tutir malo na ne. Osway 1,000 kali, osway primero 1,000 kali ne, ohetan 501 heads. Osway kedua mos, ohetan 501, exactly 501 heads. So ketiga mos, 500, soy 1,000 kali kedua, ketiga. Por ejemplo, 1,000 kali pertama, ohetan 501 heads. 1,000 kali kedua, ohetamos 501 heads. 1,000 kali ketiga, 501 heads. Continua. ¿Comprende esto? ¿Comprende esto?
Yes, teacher.
Now, probabilidade ida debe osoy 1,000 kali dalabarak at ohetan 501 heads ne. Is that a rare event? Yes or no?
Rare event.
It's a very, very, very rare event, yeah, because
Yeah.
it's rare event. So the if you want to calculate exactly the probability of that, this is 0.0252. Okay. So if this is a rare event, okay, is this greater than 0.05 or less than 0.05?
Greater than? No,
No, less than.
less than.
Less than.
The probability is 0.05. Okay. Okay, so this low probability reflects the fact that with 1,000, any specific number of heads will have a very low probability. Very, very low probability. Maybe a specific number like 1,000 kali pertama ohetang exactly 501, 1,000 kali kedua ohetang 502. Idane is rare event. Maybe sekarik how define fali. How define when select fali. Probability of getting 501 or more. Comprende ito? Or more. Exactly or more. Artinya niya belehetan. 1,000 kali pertama niya ohetan 501. 1,000 kali kedua niya olahetan 501. Maybe ohetan fali 510. 1,000 kali ketiga niya ohetan fali 520. 1,000 kali fali 511. Agora, probabilidade ba idane fali ne both li fali na. That's not 0.025, but probability is 0.487. What's that? Now, is this a rare event? Yes or no?
Yes.
That is not a rare
No.
event.
Oh,
That is
no.
greater than 0.05. Okay,
Oh,
remember,
okay.
the magic
Yeah.
number is 0.05. Okay, so this is just an example of showing you the concept of rare event rule. Okay, now let's go to a more relatable example that you can use. Like, exactly is rare event. Okay, now let's do this an example. Suppose a genetics company claim that they have developed a method for selecting baby birds to be a girl. Por exemplo, iha companhia ida, companhia ne mai ni dia kata, oh, ami desenvolve tena metode ida, metode ni ita latena saida bela moruga, apakah physical therapy or whatever. Sira dia claim ne mane kata, ami desenvolve tena metodu ida, no bahira ami ne clienti ema nebe usa ami ne metodu nene. Hetan bebe, por exemplo, bahira be couple ya, feng online nebe hakarak usa ami ne metodu ne. bebê ne se moris mai se feto. Idane se ne claim ne mane. Se ne claim ni ita termo estatística ita volnaran sada hypothesis. Okay? Ano, loss hypothesis ida. Claim o hypothesis ne lane sang ya. Claim ne katak sada claim ne sira diang ne sane. Kompanya ne mai ni diang katak oh ami desenvolve tene metodu ida. No, ami ne metodu ne bang hira usa husi pasangan sira. No sira kara ketan bebê ne bebê feto. Ne bang hira sira usa ami ne metodu ne bebê ne be se mori ne se feto. Itu ne sernya claim ya. Ne sira makagabaan yang amnia metodu ne makne. Agora, hanesang estatística ida, ola bele fiarle atau test to. Obe, o kokotak apakah sernya claim ne yes or no? Okay? Então, atau test sernya claim ne o tem que haluluk hypothesis ida. Hypothesis ida nebe o halo ne kata sebelum o foti dados ne o test has o fo hypothesis. Hypothesis ida o fo ne mane. O kole the general selection method is ineffective. One sa ima pessimista ida bade aula fiar ida. Saida maka metodo saida maka ema ujane bebe ne kan buat maromak mafobe o chama obel hatene paling feta ga mana ni telatene. Paling muris mai mai tafai hatene. Mau dar rumah paling oleno husi be machine rumah hatene me. O machine layo atatene ne aras ke tu Allah tale. Por ejemplo, o ansane anta one hypothesis ne mane. One hypothesis ne mane. Oh, how ne gender selection metodo ne be kompania di hang ne. Claim ne be kompanya halo ne la efetivo da. Ne one hypothesis. Lo kalian? That's your hypothesis. Agora one hypothesis ne anta o tem que provar anta o tem que provar one hypothesis ne. O tem que provar disprovar one hypothesis ne. To ene comprende kalian? To ene comprende kalian? Hanya explicação ne.
Yes, teacher.
Ok? Nebe ok. To ene comprende. E depois im halo experimento, im foti dados. Im fotis dados ida. Dados ida, por exemplo, estudo A. Let's call it study A. Agora vamos fazer. The probability of baby girl being born is what? Baby girl ne probability ne 0.5, does it? Because a baby is either a male or a female. Ida ne mi attene, lo sai?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, the probability of baby being born is as a girl, that's 50%, 0.5. Now, for example, a study A, ni observa 100 birds. Por exemplo, study A ne, ni foto na be, metodologia ne, ni foto, metodologia kompannya ne, ema 100 orang pasangan 100 orang ne usa metodologia ne be, kompannya ne ofrece. No, khusus 100 orang ida nene. No, khusus 100 baby, khusus 100 pasangan nene. Bebe nebe moris mai khusus 100 pasangan ne. 75 are girls and 25 are boys. Okay, ida ne ya estudo primeiro ne mana ya. Now, agora, probabilidade of obtaining 75 or more baby girl. Agora sini. Probabilidade ne be heta 75 or more baby girl. Ya, probabilidade ne be atau heta baby girl ne 75 baby girl or more. Ne 0.01, 0.001. O insama imi atubuka probabilidade ne kan 75 to imare. Imi kali date be 0,5 0,5 kali to 0,5 kali 0,5 kali 0,5 kali 0,5 to 75 or 0,5 pangkat 75. That's the probability of getting that. That is very, very low. 0.000001. Jalan? 0,5. Sedang lo 0,5 kali 0,5 kali 0,5. To 75 kali lah salah. That's how you calculate the probability lah salah. Nabi ni probability ne kikuan loss. Senya probability ne kikuan loss. The probability of getting 75 or more is very, very slow. The probabilidade ne be atu heta 75 baby girl or more is very, very low. It's less than 0.05. Los galera? Então, getting a 75 is a rare event, yes or no?
Mm,
Yes.
It's a rare event.
so
Galera? Se evento ida nebe makarara, se evento ida nebe makarare los, rara los acto acontece, berarti ida ni tanya maksudnya saida. Artinya one hypothesisnya o tenki receita. One hypothesisnya kata metodo nebe company efresene la efetivo. Mas be resultado haturu kata probabilidade ida atu hetan 75 feto nene rara terlalu, mas be ida ne acontece. Evento nebe rara, mas be ne acontece, então bele ita conclui kata saida metodo nene diakduni. The method works. Or meaning you reject hypothesis 0. Yeah, not 1. Yeah, this is 0. I need to edit this. You reject the hypothesis. You reject the hypothesis, okay? Comprende kalian ano yung maksudnya?
yes, teacher.
Tambah acontece, tambah probabilidade ida neve atau hetan hetos 75 kamor ne kikuan los. It's a rare event, evento neve rara los. Mas be resultado neve haturu ne nia hetan duni. Então ida ne conclui kata metodo ne claim nebe companhia halo ne efetivo. No, it o tem que reject on the hypothesis. Reject the hypothesis it's not. Reject your hypothesis, ya. Nama media reject bahiro o reject on hypothesis kata on hypothesis nebe o halo ne lalo sida. On hypothesis ne dia kata metodologi ne la efetivo. La efetivo anto o reject dia então o dia kata o anto metodologi ne efeito doni. That's the term statistics ne mane. Comprende tá?
Yes, teacher.
Any questions? Perguntas?
None so far.
All right. Now let's go to another study. Let's go to study B. Yes, study B fali. Hanesan date. Yanene yes 100 birds. Maybe yes 100 birds. Then you have 55 girls and 45 boys. Okay. Now the probability of having 55 or less baby girl, yeah, 55, 54, 53, 50, that is 0.184, which is greater than 0.05.
0.05.
Now, is this a rare event? No, it is not
No.
a rare event.
It's not. Yeah.
Therefore, you fail to reject the hypothesis. You fail to reject the hypothesis. That means on or support on the hypothesis, gender selection method is not effective. Comprende that?
Yes, teacher.
So that is it. That's what it means. That's yeah. That is what it means. All right. ¿Qué preguntas, Roma?
None, teacher.
All right. So now we are going to talk about new topic. What do you call an expected value? Expected value ni oing imi ape probability distribution be imi calcula be mean and variance or and standard deviation ba PDF ne expected value ni formula ne maka formula ne be usa ba mean ni usa ba mu ne. So what is expected value? Expected value is the value that you will expect, yeah? O se expect kata kita nema se acontece husi random experiment ida. Nabe ni formula ne mane x dot multiplica by p1. Ida nema formula ba mean ida ohin mu is equals to the sum of x dot p of x. Ne mane ya formula ne mane. Nabe shero ne formula ne anesan ne expected value ho be mean of PDF na nesonde. Agora, mas também saída maka ita, what is the purpose of calculating expected value? Exemplo balo, purpose dita nebe maka ita assist in making mathematical sound decisions for a future event. Expected value ne bele ajuda ita ato 40 decisão be evento nebe se acontece no futuro, ajuda ita ato matematicalmente 40 decisão ida nebe se acontece no futuro. Nes expected value ne mané. Ida fali ema ia economia ia negócio ne ema usa ato halo investimento used to make an investment. Sila usa ho di determina preço ba ia produto barbarak oi ne. Sila usa para ato prioritiza sa niya evento sila niya atividade. O usa mo ato halo calcula is how invest 100,000 ne kare. How the investimento my fel how ne bang hira. How ne expect the soundness nila. What will I expect? That's what expected value means. You use probability to do that. Comprende? Ito sa may expected value.
Yes, teacher.
All right, let's do an example. So for example, you have this. A third grade class survey regarding the number of hours that they played electronic games each day. The probability, okay, por exemplo, name. Yeah, class 3 SD da. Yung mahalo pesquisa ba yung maglabari sila class 3 SD. No, sila halo pesquisa nene, sila karakat, sila hatene nene, sila be 40 dados ne be labari halimer game, lorong ide ne sila halimer game oras sila gitu. Jadi itanya random variable ne masada number of hours games played per day, lo lah. No, sila for probability distribution function ne mention ne. Labari ide play 0 hours has a 0.3 probability. Number of games that play 1 hour each day is 0.4. Play games 2 hours is 0.2 and play game 3 hours is 0.3. Nah, perguntas ni mana? Então, se karik ida ne makabe probability duni, então imi naras 40 labari ida ya kelas 3 narang ida de imi 40, imi expected ne say play game ora sira ya loro ida ne larang. Imi expected sound ne seda. Imi narang hili labari ida kelas 3. Sebelum imi nya for resposta be imi bele expect na, imi bele halo expect sound na. Lalu tambah imi probability distribution function ni ihate na imi. Entah imi bele calculate ne. Calculate the expected value of a quantity of time that the third grader spend each day playing electronic game. This simple lah ya. You have your x and then you have p of x. Imi usa this formula the sum ne. Expected value is just x plus p of x. X multiplied by p of x1. Depois imi soma mutu deh. Lo salah. Tapi aneh sana. Formula ne mana? Multiplica. You multiply 0 to 0.3, 1 to 0.4, and then you add them up. Okay? Maybe imi expected value ni kali-kali soma mutu deh 1.1 hours. Nebe imi bel expecta, imi ni expecta sound sebelum la barik ne for ni resposta, imi calcula no imi ni imi usa probabilidade calcula kata oi, how expecta sound ne nia dalam rumah halimer game loro ini sekitar 1.1 hours. I don't know. Okay, so that which means is that third grader spends about, the expectation is that the third graders spends about 1.1 hours playing video game each year. Nabi dan ini applicable investimento na sa ida. Gitu. For example, imihatama osang kan sekali kau tahu osang ida ne, hawal investimento milyong ida. How na expectação na si sa ida gitu. Ne kan ajuda o ato foti decisão ida, não sabe? Ajuda o foti decisão ida ba evento na se acontece no futuro. Se o expectação na dia, então o halo investimento ni dia. Ela foto exemplo datang. Which I think I have a very good example that illustrate this in terms of like practicability of it. Let me check this example. I have it somewhere. Okay, so where is it? Where are you? Where are you? Yeah, let me just look for this problem over here. Okay, I got it. Okay, hold on. Let me just put this problem in the lecture notes. So this is example number 1. Oops. Example number 2. All right, I have it. All right. Favanyu, can you read this problem for us?
Imagine you are a businessman and your company just developed new cake products. Assume your cake product is as good, if not better, than currently available in the market. A market study suggests that the probability of sales is 0.75. That is, you will sell 75% of your inventory per month. In a month where the cakes is still good, you will earn $500. If the product is not sold by the end of the month, reaches expiration date, you will lose $200. You want to know if this product is profitable or not.
Comprende, Gale? Can you explain that in Tetum for your friends who is not limited English?
Uh,
Do you understand that? Okay, ini dia nasane. Imagine ini business ida, ini halo business ida. Ini business ni so halo be fang cake. For example, cake ni mi fang loja serane. Ibe imina assumption ne kata imina cake ne dia no bele competitivo ho companhia serseluk ne be esiste nel mercado. Lo segala. Imi halo be market study, imi halo estudo do mercado ida. No husi imi ni market study ne dia kata probability of sales ya. Kata banhiro o produce be, sabe? 100 ke karik 75%, 75 ne o se fang. 25 ne da rumah e malasosa. For example, ya. That's what it means. But yan $100 figure ni hansa futi arbitrariamente para to indicate 75%. But the probabilidad de kata imihalte market study, so the probability of sales is about 0.75 per month de cada fulang ida. Se fulang ida produce 100 cake, tau 75 ne niya se fang. May bea sana Sekarik, if the product is not sold by the end of the night. Example, imagina laos cake ni halo lorna, imi halo dali ida dit. Halo dali ida ni imi halo 100 gitu. No, cake nene niya so validated ba iha fulang ida. Se niya liu fulang ida niya atona. Se atona berarti ola kung ano, berarti oten ki soya no, label fan fali. Expiration date liu tena. Lost toh? Então, ini dia, within a month when the cake is still good, sekarang ya fura ini larang nih, maka cake sedia kelam, osay untung, you will earn $500. Now, if the product is not sold, sekarang one cake nih malafang, iya, pulang nih larang, kata on expiration date nih liutena, osay rugi, laku $200. Agora perguntas nih mana? Hanesa bisnis ida, o sama watene kata kone bisnis nih saya tan profit galay. Obele usa conceito expected value nene atau calcula. Gitu. Nebe, obele usa conceito expected value ne ori calcula. Nebe, primeiro tem que desenvolver o look. O tem que desenvolver o look. Probability distribution, lo salah. On the option mana either you sold, the probability of you will sold net 0.75. Nem mention the market study, lo salah. If you sold, then the outcome is you will get plus, you will also untung $500. Sekarang, if you not sold, kata say 75 probability is sold, then obviously automatically there is a 0.25 of probability of not sold. So ini comprende to, tabela ne comprende to, sekarang la sold, you will lose, o sea, rugi hira $200. So ini comprende?
Yes, teacher.
Agora, imagina ida ne kan fulang ida ne lara. Por exemplo, imi akar kalau calculação ne ba tinang ida ne lara. Okay, fulang tinang ida ka ya hira fulang hira 12 months. Lá está? Nebe, por exemplo, on a zero expected value ne formula ne não sa. Expected value ne formula ne saira. Expected value ne formula ne maka saira. X dot P of X, lo salah? The sum ya. Okay, sama. Nebe, berarti on X ne mana? On outcome ne ma on X ne. Berarti o kali on ya. Outcome 500 multiplica by iha on probabilidade. Nema iha ore iha imi hari yana bakarek iha. Iha nene. Mabe 12 ne. How aumenta det para tu calcula en términos de tinangira ne lara. Kanesa det ya. Nebe tinangira ne lara ne. O se hetang negatif ga positif. Nebe bangira au halo ida ne. Se halo ne negócio ne tinangira ne lara. Kona berarti nia se hetang positivo ida. Total ne ira. 3.900 fulang ida ne hani profit ne mana. Oke, sekarang kalau karak hetan net profit be fulang ida tinggal bagi vali by 200. 200 date, entang hani probabilidade ne $325. Hani expected. Valor ne be how expect ne maka auto hetan $325 kada fulang. Oke. Sekarang hani expectação ne maka ida ne ho hani probabilidade ida sales de 0.25 date. Turi meni hanoi ida ne investimento nebe untung ga rugi. Dia kala. Huh? Is this a good investment? Yes or no?
Yeah.
It's a good investment.
Yeah.
Meskipun
Yes.
onia dosine ema la sosa. Ne la sosa ni ad o suete date. Mabe onia probabilidade ema se sosa ne dia 75% ni iha. Anta ema sosa de 75% e se untung. Mabe se ema sosa barak litang o untung barak litang. Lo salah? Mabe onia probabilidade ne makne. Probability ne kata o secret. That's what probability is used for. Your expected value is helping you determine the outcome to make a decision about an outcome that will happen in the future. Okay? This is a very good, right? Nebe. Tama nema babain kono be. Ema sira be. Matematika makas ne lalu ke pas joga kartu ne tambah pertama sene. Hafal mati hatu tena be. Ni outcome ne saya ne. Maybe ne hal kalkulasan kakutak det. That's a different story altogether. All right? Ya preguntas rumah? Jadi? Ida ne mana? Itu
Done,
niya.
teacher.
All right. Setelah perguntas rumah itu nih kelas So, Hene, dito na, hapot the absence